I felt a great disturbance in the force. Millions of voices suddenly cried out in terror, suddenly silenced. Something terrible has happened.
Hey guys, it's Jay. Welcome back to the channel. Well guys, it's finally arrived. I took another look at the Hasbro Pulse situation that's been going on, and yeah guys, it's not looking good. I just thought we'd take a moment to take a little bit of a deep dive and find out exactly what's happening and why Haslab has been quiet this entire time. But just before we get started guys, if you could please do me a favor, if you enjoy this type of content, please consider subscribing to the channel, as it really helps me out. And don't forget to hit that bell notification so you'll always know when new episodes are posted. I post at least 2 episodes a week, and I hope you guys will enjoy that. Well guys, without further ado, let's dive right into this. We definitely have to talk about these 2 projects, the GI Joe Skystriker, which features O-ring figures for the first time in decades, as well as the Return of the Jedi Star Wars Haslab Rancor Beast, which obviously is the elephant in the room. We gotta talk about these 2. They are pretty much in limbo right now, and it's really astonishing that Hasbro has not said anything ever since their last Fan First Friday. This is really quite surprising. I'm actually shocked at the fact that Hasbro has not actually said anything. They really should be doing some sort of damage control right now. The fact that they were losing backers right after their last Fan First Friday, that was a clear-cut indication that the fans were not happy with the stretch goals that they were being offered. There was a lot of criticism in terms of like these 2 stretch goals here. They should have said something, you know, acknowledging the fact that this is something that fans obviously were not too pleased about. But they decided to do a Fan First Friday, a solid number of people to actually continue and boost the number of backers that were already missing from the actual campaign. But it had the completely opposite effect. They announced that they were going to have Salacious Crumb stretch goal at 16,000 backers, 19,000 backers. This was absolutely insane. You know, Return of the Jedi Luke, brand new figure, brand new sculpt, everything, you know, everything everyone wants in a brand new Luke figure. But 19,000 backers to actually reach this stretch goal, it really seemed disingenuous. It really seemed as if they were literally telling fans, no, if you want this figure, you have to back this project. A lot of fans feel like Haslab is no longer in touch with what they want. They put him all the way at the end, plus the fact it's 19,000 backers needed to back this particular stretch goal. I think a lot of fans felt a little bit let down, and I don't blame them. In my opinion, and I said this in my previous video about the Haslab Rancor, I truly believe that Luke should have been the first offering for the Rancor Beast. That way, you get all these backers immediately. A brand new Luke, a brand new sculpt, the Power of the Force backing card, and a commemorative coin, you would automatically get a ton of backers immediately after announcing that stretch goal. I'm pretty sure of that. And then you followed up with a Gamorrean Guard. Yes, it's a little bit of a, oh, okay, that's neat kind of situation, but it makes sense. Salacious Crumb, honestly, if it had to be all the, you know, stretch goals which are included now, and there was no choice, they had absolutely no choice, then I would have made Salacious Crumb the 3rd stretch goal, followed then by the bones and the backdrop. The reason I say it in that particular order is because you start off strong, you get to the midpoint. These are just, again, these are supposed to be bonuses that you're supposed to get to continue to entice you to get more and more backers. Salacious Crumb is such a tiny figure, and the only thing interesting about him is that he comes on a brand new card back, and you know it's for collectors, if you will. You know, if you're an actual Rancor, you know, if you want this Rancor Beast to be in your display, you're not interested in you know, keeping these figures on card. You're going to rip them open anyway. So having Salacious Crumb, yes, it does make sense to you know, maybe include him as one of the last stretch goals, including you know, and the very last ones being the bones and the backdrop, because that's at the end of the campaign. As I said, trying to get to 19,000 backers for this project, you're basically saying that, or at this stage, fans, no, you're never going to get this figure. 19,000 backers, you're not going to get Luke, because we're barely able to even reach the finish line with the Rancor Beast now. This has been quite the conundrum. It really has been. And honestly, mistakes have been made. Mistakes have been made. And you know what? This happens. This does happen. There are a number of factors as to why this could have been. It could have been a lot of basic budgetary concerns. We are talking about a dream project, right? Something where, you know, the other dream projects that have come out before, obviously the sail barge, you know, Jabba's sail barge, which connects directly with this project. The Razor Crest, which of course had a huge following based on the television series, which was just absolutely so popular at the time and still is today, which kind of explains what happened with the Ghostbusters pack. Having known all of that, this project, which is, of course, it's a very specific creature in the episode, in the movie. It's a very specific creature in the movie. It's a very specific creature in Star Wars lore. And realistically, other than a really exciting scene that happened with Luke and with Leia and with Lando, it really doesn't further any of the mythos other than being an obstacle for Luke to actually get by. And because of that, yes, wonderful creature, wonderful, you know, legendary stature in terms of this character, but just like all the other Haslab projects that have been, you know, all the Star Wars Haslab projects, it was destroyed. It's kind of interesting, you know, if you really think about it this way. The sail barge was destroyed, the Razor Crest was destroyed, and the Rancor Beast was actually killed. So it follows in that tradition that each of the Haslab projects for Star Wars has been destroyed in one way or another. Kind of interesting. Just a little bit of a side there. It's just some trivia for you guys if it ever comes up. But this project, I have to say, as it stands, $350 for this Rancor Beast. Wow. Is it worth $350? A lot of fans are very critical about this. They say that $350 is just a little bit too much. It's just over the hump of what they would be willing to pay for a figure by itself. A lot of people say the sweet spot was around $200 to $250, almost $100, $150 less. That would have been the sweet spot for a lot of people. That being said, this project depended heavily, and I do mean heavily, on the stretch goals. And it really seems to be the case that they did not choose the stretch goals wisely. For instance, the Skystriker, which we'll get to in a second, if you look at the Skystriker, it comes with a ton of accessories right off the bat. That makes for a decent, you know, incentive to actually buy that just by itself without the stretch goals. That's something that's really, you know, warranting that, yeah, I want to buy this, I want to back this, because look at all this great stuff I get just for the project itself. You know, forget about the stretch goals. I get missiles, I get blast effects, I get two O-ring figures. You know, I get a fueling station, I get a flight stand. Wow, seriously, that's before any of the stretch goals even come into question. That is what I call a project to be backed for Haslab. That is absolutely insane. It comes with ejector seats. That is your basic set. Absolutely incredible. And I believe it does actually come with the parachutes. Holy crap. That is absolutely insane in terms of like offerings, accessories, if you will, that are included with this project. What does the Rancor Beast come with if it doesn't reach its stretch goals? It comes with the Rancor Beast. Are we starting to see the problem here? The Rancor Beast is just $350 by itself. You don't even get the bones, and you don't even get the backdrop. This, I believe, was a complete miss. This was a complete miss. Where does that leave us right now? Well, unfortunately, we are at 4,762 backers of the 9,000 backer goal. Guys, but just before, and I'm being very careful about this, but just before, I want to be clear about this. Just before the announcement started happening on that Fan First Friday, the Rancor Beast was reported to be as high as 5,146 backers just before the announcements were made for these additional stretch goals. Literally a half an hour later, the backers started leaving en masse. Not even 15 minutes later, they were down to 5,116 backers. About an hour later, they were down to 5,095 backers. Shortly thereafter, they were down to 5,076 backers. Then they went down as far as 4,986 backers the next day. And then it just kept dropping and dropping and dropping. Since then, they went as low as 4,751 backers. They've actually gained a few in the last few days. They are now up to 4,762 backers, but the bleeding continues. Now, in this very last week, the last 6 days of the project, they have to do something. And this is where the problem starts. There has been no word from Hasbro. No comment at all. And I understand. This is unprecedented. This is something that's never happened. Panic probably has been setting in. They really don't know what to do at this stage. But it's imperative at this critical stage, the last 5 days, that they make a statement. They have to start reaching out to the fans. They have to make a connection with the fans. They have to say something to actually gain back the trust and, you know, the goodwill of the fans at this critical stage. This is an absolute must-do, Hasbro. This is something you have to do immediately. We cannot be left in the dark about what's happening with this Rancor Beast. You still have 4,762 backers. That's not small. 4,762 backers. Let's just do some quick math here. I think we'll be shocked. At $350 pre-tax, multiplied by 4,762 backers. Guys, check out this number. Holy crap, everybody. We're looking at $1,666,700. That is not a small amount of money. That's a lot of money, guys. That's crazy. 4,762 backers equates to $1.6 million. Almost very, very close to $1.7 million. That is a lot of money which Hasbro can use to actually get this project done. If they reach their target goal of 9,000 backers, oh my god, we're looking at $3,150,000. Holy crap. Guys, this is doable. This is doable. But I will have to say, Hasbro has to say something. Hasbro has to make a statement. They have to start letting the fans know that they understand what is going on and that they understand that mistakes were made. It's okay. Again, we're all human. None of us can predict the future. None of us can, you know, like understanding what fans are thinking is difficult. It really is tough. But we cannot be beating around the bush right now. A statement must be made. Hasbro, don't remain silent. Please, talk to us. Let us know what's going on. Acknowledge a few things. Acknowledge the fact that, you know, the accessories pack is something that should have been included. And that, you know what, as an olive branch, include it with the Rancor Beast immediately. This is something that has to be done. Please, Hasbro, I implore to you, reach out to us. Start making some statements. This is absolutely imperative that we do this now. Honestly, the second thing that needs to be done, extend the deadline. Please, this is absolutely imperative. You are well short of 9,000 backers now. It's very important, much like what you did with Unicron. They got back to another 45 days. This is an absolute must at this stage. It must be extended. And I fully expect that both the Rancor and the GI Joe Skystriker will be extended. I'm almost certain of it. However, please do not remain silent. We only have 6 days left. 6 days and 9 hours and 58 minutes. We are at crunch time. This is literally, you know, deadline is already passed. This is the absolute dead deadline. There's no time left. We have to, Hasbro, you have to say something. Please say something to the fans. Make us, you know, have some hope again. You know, we need a new hope. This is absolutely imperative right now that something happen to get this project back on its feet, to jumpstart this project, to kickstart this project. I don't want to. I know this is a crowdsourced project, and I don't want to make any you know, outlandish statements. But we need a new Kickstarter. We need something else to jumpstart. If you don't want to say kickstart, we need something else to jumpstart this project, and it needs to start with an olive branch. Of course, it has to come down to the tiers at this stage. Here's my suggestion as to what needs to happen. First, we need to include the bones and the backdrop as part of the accessories pack included with the Rancor Beast. For $350, That seems to be a really big olive branch right off the hop. Second, make the new Luke figure into the first tier. Rearrange the tiers. This is absolutely imperative. Please, Hasbro. If you're not listening to me, listen to the rest of the fans. You know, a lot of people have talked about rearranging the tiers, including the Foosh, myself, a whole bunch of different YouTubers online. Guys, please, get on this as quickly as you can. Then I think the Gamorrean Guard is fine. I think that the Gamorrean Guard, again, very important to have that figure included package. That's something imperative that needs to happen. Salacious Crumb? No, I'm sorry. Either he becomes the very, very last tier, or he's removed completely in lieu of 2 additional spots for tiers. Then, please, by all means, please, listen to the fans. Seriously, Hasbro, please consider this. Please consider the Rancor Keeper. The Rancor Keeper is an absolute must. He is another one of those characters that actually interacted in some way, in some fashion, with the Rancor Beast. And of course, he's called the Rancor Keeper. Come on, Malakili, the Rancor Keeper. Very important to actually have this character. But in this stage, it's really important to actually give these figures that people want, you know, in this project. What I really do think would be an absolute killer idea, of course, as everyone else has been talking about it, you have to consider, and I do mean consider, at least consider, please think about it, at least consider Oola. I know there's a lot of controversy around the character. I know that, you know, the higher-ups have a certain concept as to what's appropriate for, you know, release as action figures, but this is a situation where you're marketing directly towards adult collectors. It's never going to be marketed to children. These are adult collectible figures. And now is the time, especially with this, a dream project like this, which can only be backed by adults. No kid has $350 to go spend on a Rancor Beast. That doesn't make any sense. Of course the parents are going to buy it. Of course the adult collector is going to buy it. So, characters like Oola, the Rancor Keeper, Malakili, and let's face it, honestly, the conversation has to be made that Slave Leia, Captive Leia, Bathing Suit Leia, I don't know what you want to call it, but at the end of the day, this character would absolutely help to make the sales for the Rancor Beast. You can argue with me all you want, and I understand the higher-ups, the execs, they might say, no, it's inappropriate, whatever, you know, this is the thing, but we're all adults here. We're not kids. This is a character who did appear in the movie, and people want this character. This figure right now in box goes for crazy aftermarket prices. And if you want to actually get some real traction on this campaign, I'm telling you, the Princess Leia slave outfit version, it will help to drive sales for the Rancor Beast. Again, it can be a toss-up, whether it's Captive Leia, Slave Leia, Oola, and Salacious Crumb. I think that would actually be a really big deal. That would be amazing. Or Malakili, the Rancor Keeper. I think these are characters that must, at least one of them, at the very least one of these characters must be included with the Rancor Beast as tiers so that it can help to further the campaign and get this particular Hasbro project backed as quickly as possible. I really don't know what to say. This is just absolutely insane, guys. It's one of those things where the silence is deafening. It really is. Haslab, Hasbro, please do not remain silent. You need to make a statement. You need to assure the fans that you are listening to them, because right now the fans feel a little bit let down. They don't know what to think. A lot of fans feel that you're not listening to them, and that you don't understand what they want. So, doing things like this, you know, listening to a bunch of suggestions from YouTubers, from fans, from people who've been emailing you, and just looking at the reality that you've been losing backers, not gaining backers, after all of the, you know, supposed stretch goals, which are supposed to entice people to actually back this project, have done the exact opposite, and people are actually leaving the project. You really need to make a statement. You really need to start talking to the fans. This is an absolute must at this critical stage. Please, I implore you, please make a statement, reach out to the fans, think about these types of tiers that we're talking about. They're not, it's not so unreasonable. We're all adults here. We're not children. You know, don't treat us like we're children. Don't treat us like we need to be protected. We want these figures. This is absolutely something that we need. Hasbro, at the very least, though, say something. Don't remain silent. Make a statement. Assure us that something's going to be done about this. We are very excited about these products. You still have 4,762 backers who want this to happen. And countless numbers of other, you know, backers from overseas or, you know, other retailers who are trying to sell this for you. There are so many different partners out there who want this to be made. Please make a statement. Let the fans know that this is still going to be happening. Make the extension happen. Make the statement that you're making the extension. This is an absolute must. I know I'm getting a little bit animated about this, but it's absolutely imperative that we make the statement now. 6 days? We're literally past crunch time. This is the absolute dead moment. This is the time where people are deciding whether or not they're even going to pull out their backing. This is the time to do it, Hasbro. Do not delay. This is absolutely imperative. The same goes for the GI Joe Striker. I'm not sure where this is going right now. It's basically stalled. It's much higher than the Rancor Beast, but not by much. It's at 843 backers of a 10,000 backer goal. That's well shy. Only 7 days left to go. This is a mystery. The last 5 days, it could just explode. We don't know. O-rings have come back, but I think that it happened at such a critical stage. No one even knew that they were coming. It was sort of a surprise announcement for the anniversary of GI Joe. This really needed some more time. I think that both the Haslab and the Skystriker being launched at Hasbro Pulse, and a bit of a test, I understand. Having two Haslab projects running simultaneously, a bit of an experiment, I understand that. But 5 days later to announce the Hasbro Ghostbusters Spengler Proton Pack, literally 5 days after, supported by a movie, you know, at the price point that it's at, which is absolutely incredible. Really, I think it was the perfect storm. The other two projects really suffered from having the Ghostbusters Proton Pack right at the beginning. Wow, guys, seriously, mistakes were made, I understand. But for both the GI Joe Skystriker and especially the Rancor Beast, do not remain silent. Make some statements. This needs to happen now. You need to start telling people that these will be extended, if that's what you plan on doing, or that you plan on rebooting these at a later date with brand new stretch goals. Perhaps not the Skystriker. I think the Skystriker itself just needs to be pushed to a secondary date. I think that's absolutely important. The stretch goals are good. The accessory packs are good. There's nothing wrong with the Skystriker. Leave it exactly the way it is. The Hasbro Rancor Beast, please. I know you're probably not listening to this, but honestly, it's a suggestion, and I hope everybody watching this will give the same suggestions to Hasbro in some way. Let's talk. Let's make Hasbro know what we want, guys. Let's you know, send emails. You know, message them on the Instagram. Message them on all the social medias. Let them know. Hashtag Rancor Beast. Let them know that we still want this Rancor Beast, but we just want some, you know, a little bit extra. We want, you know, the accessories pack, the bones and the backdrop that must be included, right? Luke should be the first tier. The Gamorrean Guard should be the second tier, and then, of course, like I said, include Malakili or Oola, and if you really want to hit this out of the park, include Slave Leia. Of course, I do mean Captive Leia. Guys, this is a critical time for all three of these Haslab projects, regardless of what they are. The Rancor, the Skystriker, and not so much the Spengler's Proton Pack, because it's already been backed. But honestly, at this critical time, this is something that needs to be happening. Hasbro, I implore you, please, 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 make a statement. Let us know that you haven't, you know, given up on this project. It's super important right now that you assure the fans that this is something that you care about, that you care about the fans, about what the fans think, and it's imperative that you tell us that you're going to extend this project or you're going to push it back for a later date. But guys, after listening to my long-winded and impassionate plea to Hasbro, what are your thoughts? Are you in agreement to what I'm saying? Should the Haslab project actually be extended or pushed back to a later date with rearranged tiers for secondary stretch goals? Should the Malakili figure, the Oola figure, or by some miracle the Leia figure be stretch tiers in this project? Or is this just not something that was meant to be? Are you not interested in a Rancor Beast? Is this something that honestly should have had a spot for another vehicle somewhere down the road, like a like a deluxe version of the Millennium Falcon? You know, the the X-Wing project, which a lot of people have been floating around, or perhaps even the bridge of the Millennium Falcon. Are those possible, you know, dioramas? Are those something that that you would back entirely? Guys, please leave those comments in the comment section below. I think it's super important that you know, Haslab projects like this continue to go. I think these dream projects are important. I really don't see them as super expensive like a lot of people do believe. They are on the pricey side, I will admit, but these are dream projects which are just not able to happen without the support of without the direct support of the fans. Guys, if you enjoyed this episode, please do leave me a like. It really does help me out. If you have any comments or suggestions on anime, cartoons, toys, collectibles, or anything else you'd like me to review, please leave that in the comment section below, and consider subscribing as it helps YouTube to realize I'm doing a great job, and you guys enjoy my work. Well, guys, as always, thank you very much for watching. May the Force be with you, everyone. Geek proud.